and welcome to this video. In this video, we are going to talk about your blueprint to a healthy pregnancy. So one of the most common questions I get is, when should I start preparing? What is it that I can do to prepare my body for pregnancy? So today in this video, I'm going to share the blueprint map to a healthy pregnancy. And what I typically recommend is going to depend, right? So how long do you need to prepare for pregnancy? If you watch the last video, for example, if you're looking to improve the quality of your eggs, if the quality of your eggs is really struggling, you might need a year. If you just need a little bit of support and just to boost up your nutrients, it might only be 3 months. And the only way that we're really going to know this is to get into testing. And that's some of the later videos that I'm going to talk about. What are some of the things that you can test to find out what is the state of your health and where do you need improvements? So where for some people, for most people, I will recommend 6 months to give your body to prepare for pregnancy. Some people will require 1 year and some people will require even longer than that. And what it actually depends on is the state of your health and what else is going on. So for example, if you're on birth control and you've been on birth control for over a decade and you just don't even know what your period is like, then you probably need closer to a year to get pregnant. Now, if you've been on birth control because you have irregular cycles or heavy cycles or painful cycles, and you're using birth control to kind of control the pain or the heaviness of the flow, and then you've been on birth control for over a decade, then we're thinking, well, we actually might need 2 years, because not only do we need to get you off birth control and detox and boost up those nutrients level, fix the digestion, but we also need to get down to the root cause of why you had that issue in the first place. And I'll talk about some, common questions around birth control as well. And I have a fantastic podcast that's recorded on birth control. So without further ado, let's dive right in and talk about what are some of the things that you can do. And I'm just so what are some of the things that you can do to prepare yourself? So this is the roadmap. You have 1 year, you have 6 months, you have 3 months, and then you have ready to start. Like basically you're ready to start trying. Now, remember what I said in the previous videos is that you want to give yourself 3 months maximum to try. And then after that, you should be reaching out for help and getting down to the unexplained symptoms, right? There's always an explanation as to what is going on. And that's part of the education that I really want to provide for you guys, because unexplained infertility has an explanation. Just because the medical conventional system cannot explain the infertility doesn't mean that there isn't an explanation on the conventional medical side. And I don't want to get into this too much, but really we don't have a healthcare system. We have a disease care system. We're only ready to treat disease. There isn't much that you can do when you go to your conventional medical doctor. They'll say, okay, eat better, exercise, maybe drink more water, if that, but really they're just going to prescribe a medication, or they're going to wait until you have a disease to prescribe a medication. And so my job really is to teach you and educate you and empower you to understand what is it that you can do to support your body naturally to get rid of these stubborn and unexplained symptoms, because every single symptom, you guys, is there for a reason. Your body is talking to you and it's trying to tell you that something is wrong, something is off, fix me. And so we need to learn to become in tune with our system so we can give it what it needs. And like I said, if there's enough things that are wrong, you won't be able to get pregnant. And this is the same for whether male infertility or female infertility, because male infertility is a big thing that's rising now. But the point is, there is a reason as to why you're not getting pregnant. And we just need to get to the bottom of it, because when you do, you'll have peace. You'll feel so much better about knowing why things are not happening, and you'll feel way more in control and empowered. Okay, let's try this one more time. So for 1 year, 1 year, you need to make sure you get off any kind of birth control. This is super, super important. Birth control is going to take time to get out of your system, but it's also going to take time for your brain and your ovaries to start talking again, because birth control blocks that communication. And so some women will come back in a couple months and they'll have a regular cycle, and some women will take years. And this is just something that you don't want to take a chance on. And I'll tell you, with my birth control story, when I got off birth control, I felt like a weight lifted off my shoulders and clouds parted, and I just felt like a completely different person. And I had no idea that I was feeling that bad. I didn't know that I was super moody. I didn't know I was tired. It's like, I didn't know those things until I got off. So I highly, highly recommend getting in tune with your cycle and starting to chart your cycle 1 year, giving yourself 1 year before you're ready to start. So we want to get off birth control, and we want to do a proper health assessment, you guys. A proper health assessment takes time. So if you want to get down to the root cause of your problems, it's not just going to happen overnight. You need to do some testing, you need to do some digging. And then once you figure out what it is, it's going to take some time to correct that, depending on how long you've had the issue for. So we want to give ourselves some time. We also need to just begin to think about our future generation, right? Begin to get healthier, incorporate daily habits, get on the same page with your partner and get healthy. And like I said, begin to track your cycle. So that's within a year. When you're ready to start trying, you should be doing this a year before you are ready to start trying. So give yourself plenty of time, because when you're ready to start, maybe it's 2 years, who cares? It's really just about getting healthy, because a fertile life is a healthy life. So we want to make sure we get to the bottom of whatever is going on for you. For 6 months, you want to start to take some prenatals. Okay. So I used to recommend it 3 months, but really I recommend it at 6 months. And if you want my prenatal protocol, and if you are in Canada, make sure that you comment prenatal protocol, and I will get that to you. So if for whatever reason you don't know what to take, and we'll talk about it a little bit more, but comment prenatal protocol under this video, and I'll get that to you. So the next thing is we're going to do a detoxification. So this is going to go in line with a proper health assessment. Usually you're going to find some things and you want to give your body time to detoxify. So we have a lot of environmental toxins that are around nowadays, a lot of chemicals, a lot of pathogens, and our immune system is really weakened. So we want to make sure that we get those things moving. And then you're going to begin the diet to optimize your fertility. I am going to talk about more of that in the video, so don't worry about that. And then begin some stress management strategies. So stress is the enemy of ovulation. It also can screw up our hormones in ways we can't even imagine. So I find that if you are a high achieving woman and you love to get things done, stress management strategies are a non-negotiable. So whether it's meditating, whether it's booking a massage once a month, whether it's, booking whatever else, but it is a non-negotiable to get some stress management techniques under your belt, because like I said, or in earlier videos, and you're going to hear me say this over and over again, is stress it's the enemy of ovulation, but pregnancy, this is what I wanted to say, is pregnancy is the most difficult thing that the female body will do. Okay, so it is the most stressful thing on the female body. So even though it's good stress because you're growing a baby, please recognize that you're growing a baby from scratch. And it takes a lot of energy and a lot of nutrients to be able to do that well. And then to go through labor and to then breastfeed and grow this, continue to, grow this human, because it depends on you for a really long time after you give birth. So it is a very long game. And what I want you to do is make sure that you start to practice decreasing your stress, because the pregnancy will be stressful itself. Three months. So if you haven't started supplements, please, you need to start supplement protocol if you haven't already. That is the 3-month rule, that minimum 3 months, we want to do at least one filtration of the water to feel that the egg quality is improving. And I do have protocols for both males and females because this is a two-way street, you guys. So again, if you want the prenatal protocol, just comment prenatal protocol and I'll get that to you. I also recommend no alcohol or any kind of drugs 3 months. So weed is a really big one right now. And there's so much research coming out on the impact, the negative impact it has on sperm quality, specifically motility. It's, you know, like, I don't know if depends on, you know, where you are with your experimenting, if you will, but if you've ever done weed, it makes you really like slow and dumb, right? It basically, that's what it does to the sperm of the male. It just makes it slow and dumb. Like it just doesn't know where it's going. It's super slow. And instead of being alive for 7 days in the, you know, in the uterus, it's only alive for like 3 or 4, and it's just slow. So I recommend no drugs and no alcohol for 3 months before you're ready to start trying. That might be a shock. And if it is, give me an emoji of a shock, do something, but that's, you know, doctor's orders. I'm also going to say no super high intensity exercise. Now we're going to take this with a grain of salt, but I come from a background of doing CrossFit and I trained really hard for a really long time. And that actually depleted my adrenals. And that's what I did before my second pregnancy that ended in a miscarriage, where I just felt really good and I was pumping on adrenaline and I got really lean and I just kept training and I figured that I was okay, but actually impacted my hormones quite a bit. And so I laid back and backed off completely of exercise. Like, I mean, I still did stuff, but the intensity went way down and I felt much better. And I do believe that's one of the contributing factors as to why my third pregnancy was successful. And then no new projects and no new undertakings at work. So it's really learning how to put up boundaries and getting ready to grow a human because, and I'll tell you what, you know, you need to do when you're ready to start. So first of all, remember, you want to connect with your partner. You want to make sure you're on the same page and this is the right time for you. Set your intentions as to why you want to have a baby. What is the experience that you're looking to have? You know, what is the soul that you're looking to connect? And then really you just have to let go and breathe. And this is probably one of the hardest things to do for someone who's high achieving and likes to have things in control. There's so many things that we can control, but at the end of the day, the soul that's coming through you and the fertilization, like there's a lot that has to happen. And the best thing that we can do is just let go and breathe and trust the process, right? So I have that at the end there. Let go and breathe and trust the process. So here's the 1-year map for you guys to take a look. And I'll have a picture of it posted as well in the group so you guys can reference that. But this is really going to tie in with those 4 things that we need for successful conception. It's going to give you time to make sure that the sperm and the quality of the sperm and the egg is ready, and that the uterine lining has enough blood supply and it's, you know, the perfect thickness. And it will really, for females, like I said, it is the most stressful thing that the female body will ever go through, just like on the physical point. And so we need to feel like, how do you know when you're ready to start? And how do you know if you're at your optimal health? Because sometimes our emotional or our soul is ready to connect, right? And to bring another soul into this world, but sometimes our body's not quite ready. And so that's why it's important to always check in to make sure that we are not acting out of desperation. So we're not just like, I'll do anything to have a baby, and not from a sense of, yeah, we'll do anything to have a baby, but, or like, you know, I've had patients say like, I don't care if it destroys my body. And it's like, yeah, but you really do. You really should care if the pregnancy destroys your body, because guess what? When you give birth, you can't be present there for your baby when you're depleted and your energy is low. And I've had women come into my office 3 months after postpartum and they haven't stopped crying because their like they don't know what to do with their baby and they have this severe postpartum depression. And all of these things can be prevented. And that's or managed, but it's really hard to do that when you're at a really big, deep low. And that's why my mission and my vision is to really empower women so they can come into themselves, feel really healthy, feel really vibrant. They feel like their energy is just overflowing. And if you feel like your energy is overflowing with like good nutrition and you're just glowing and you have nowhere for that energy to go, but to create a baby, versus creating from a place of depletion. And every time there's any conferences or when we speak at, fertility conferences and webinars, all alternative healthcare providers will say that their biggest wish is that no woman enters into a pregnancy in a depleted state. And it's not that a pregnancy can't occur, it absolutely can, but it's going to be so much harder on the system. And then you're much more likely to have complications and then postpartum issues. And of course, the health of the baby is also going to be compromised. So I really, really urge you to make sure that you just think about the intention that it actually takes. Look at this map and think about, how do I feel? Like, how does my body feel? Because sometimes, like I said, our emotional desire to connect with the soul is so strong that we forget to check in with ourselves and to say, hey, am I ready to do this? Am I in the right place? Are we in the right place with my partner? Because like I said, it's just going to be a much smoother journey. And that's really what it's about. Okay, go ahead and let me know in the comments, what was the most useful thing that you found from this video? I'd love to know that feedback. Other than that, I'll see you in the next one.